That's really what she said. You lose 3-2 because I can only give Deshaun 6 games, even though his actions are predatory and egregious. She declared in her ruling, this is the most egregious case of this ilk that the NFL has ever reviewed, ever researched.
Yes.
Okay, so Rodgers beside himself because in the end, Sewell even chastises the NFL and says, you're forward-facing, but you're not forward-looking because you didn't anticipate any of this kind of thing happening. Right. So you don't give me any authority within the confines of your bylaws to rule correctly on it. So she threw up her hands, she washed her hands and said, Roger, the ball's back in your court. And Roger said, well, I guess we're back to where we started. We're back to Article 46 because I still hold the hammer. I can appeal, and they did. We didn't think maybe Roger would appeal because this was the first test case of this new system designed to save the NFL from itself. But instead, Roger said, I appeal. And now Roger has the ability to rule himself, or he can pick somebody else to help him rule. And he picked Peter C. Harvey. And to your point, Peter C. advised Roger on the Ezekiel Elliott situation back in 2017. So what do we know about Peter C. Harvey? Okay, so he went to Morgan State and then Columbia Law School. Former Attorney General of New Jersey, a former federal prosecutor. He is a member of the NFL's Diversity Advisory Committee, consulting on obviously racial and gender hiring in the NFL. And we know that Peter C. has made lots. I've looked and there are just multiple lists of most influential black lawyers in America and most influential black Americans in America. And the NFL statement said that the NFL's appeal addresses whether, based on the findings made by Judge Robinson, the discipline should be modified to include, as you pointed out, Shannon, a professional evaluation and treatment as determined by a medical expert, and an appropriate fine, as you just said, and a longer suspension. And they are pushing again for indefinite, meaning you got to come back to us after a year and prove to us that you have successfully undergone said treatment. Okay, so they rave about Peter C. in their statement that they released yesterday because they said Mr. Harvey has deep expertise in criminal law, including domestic violence and sexual assault, and has advised the NFL and other professional leagues on the development and implementation of workplace policies, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so.
Skip, if you remember, they also heaped praise on Sue Robinson. The Honorable Judge Sue Robinson, because she was a former judge, a former federal judge. Okay. So she has to be as equally as qualified as Peter Harvey.
Yeah, she had not handled cases involving sexual misconduct, to my knowledge. I think I read that that was not her expertise. So go ahead.
Yeah, but I just think the thing is, it's not like she was like, she's just looking at, okay, this is what you presented me.
Yes.
This is what they presented me.
She was a judge. Yeah. Yeah. That's her fact. That's the way she's always operated. You bring me this case, NFLPA, you bring me your case, and I will rule based on precedents, because that's how judges rule, okay?
And every time Tom Brady and Zeke, they went before the appellate court, what does the judge say? The judge says, you want me to undo the precedent. You want me to tear up a document that your union signed. So that's the precedent. You say, no, I'm not going to do that. Judge Sue Robinson says, you want me to go above what you got on your own books. So in other words, you want me to create another book to do what you should have done, what you should have had written in your bylaws, because if you should have saw this coming, once you had a Ray Rice situation and an Adrian Peterson situation, you should have sat down and started thinking, okay, what if somebody have multiple of these? What if this is over a prolonged period of time? What is the fine then? That's what she was saying, what you should have done. But because you didn't do that, you want me to do something you didn't do. And that's not what a judge is to do.
Not what a judge does. But Peter C. Harvey did advise Roger, as you correctly pointed out, on the Zeke case.
$50 card in the first place. Plus, if you guys do not win in the break, I have so many cards to bless. Like this, this is a random stack that I have to bless people. Cade, Red, White, and Blue, Josh Giddey. Hey. Prison Fives, and we also have this stack right here. And we'll go to someone that does not win in a break. This break, Anthony Edwards, 99. Josh Jackson, Genesis, Youu, James Wiseman, quickly, Sadiq Bey. And we got a stack of Prism rookies from this year. What we ripping? We got a break going on. 160th spot into a random divisional break for a Optic, Hobby Box, and Prism Blaster. Random divisional break, and the first buyer gets these 3 cards. $60 card, Rui Hachimura PSA 10. This is a case hit, by the way, and a 2 and 9. And if you do not hit in the break, you got a bunch more cards in you. Like an Odell patch at 49. You'll get a whole stack of these if you don't do it on the break. Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Silver, Select, T-Law, Press Proof. Just a bunch. Let me know. 160 spot, do the math. It's a $1,200 box, $75 box. Basically including this Prism box for free, and saying that box is a $1,000 box. Let me do the math real quick. That is a 1150 plus 75 divided by 8 is 100. Yeah. How much for TL Blue Chips? It's in this break if you don't hit. Yeah. Hold up. We will, hold on, this break, I don't know why it's 155. 155 spot in this break. Let me know. First person buy gets all these cards. 310, 10 Mark Andrews, and 2 of 10. I'm breaking even. Basically breaking even. How much for Mark and 2? It's in the break if you buy a spot. Let me know. I do 110, 155 is high. Do the math. Break. Do the math. Breaking even. 8 spots. That's a box. It's at $1,100. Then a $75 box. I'm adding that for free, basically. Or we could do a two-teamer. A two-teamer. $1,100 box plus a $75 box divided by 8. Would you guys want to do a two-teamer? More numbered patch. LaVisca.
Alright, Trish Boozle.
Okay, so Vanilla, 1 scoop for ya. Wow, you got some big stuff. That's all the vibes.